Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to 7th Street, and finally, welcome back to another DVD Blu-ray update. I know that it's been a long time, as I've said a million times now. Money's been pretty tight around here, especially with the fact that I'm currently producing and directing another feature horror film called No Sleep for the Wicked. We're just getting into principal photography, so like I said, money's pretty tight. Haven't been buying a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays lately, but it was just Christmas, and you know your boy always asks for DVDs and Blu-rays. So let's just sort of get right into this here with the first one, which is one that I have been waiting to come out on Blu-ray, and I know it's been out for a couple of months now, but it sort of came out under the radar, at least as far as I'm concerned. It was like one day it just wasn't on Amazon. You could only get the DVD from Shriek Show, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, there it is. So it was on my list, and that is Lucio Fulci's Murderrock from Scorpion releasing. This is a great release. It looks fantastic. To be fair, the only version of Murderrock that I owned was a really shitty bootleg copy that I got from a horror convention, so I was not watching the best quality version. So jumping right up to this Blu-ray was just amazing. I was really sort of blown away by it, and it kind of reinforced my opinion that it's one of the better giallos out there. It's definitely Fulci's, in my opinion, like second or third best giallo film that he's done. I think that like the lighting and the camera work in this is incredible and super underrated. I know that the dancing is like super 80s and dated by today's standards, but it's sort of a time capsule, and I think for what it is, it's really well done and really beautifully shot. I think the dance sequences are especially well shot. All around, I think this is like a really creative giallo. It's one of Fulci's more underrated ones. It deserves a lot more praise. This Blu-ray it's great looking. It's got a really good audio commentary on it from that guy who wrote Splintered Vision, the book on Lucio Fulci. I definitely recommend picking this one up. All right, moving along. This is one that it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's okay. It'll do. And that is the Blueunderground Blu-ray release of The House by the Cemetery. The only other version of this that I had was actually the Anchor Bay DVD. So, of course, it's like a major upgrade to get the Blueunderground Blu-ray release of this, but of course, what I really wanted was the 3-disc Blueunderground 4K transfer of The House by the Cemetery, but this'll do for now. I'll get that eventually. Like I said, just to upgrade to Blu-ray is enough for the time being. This version has got like some really good interviews on it. It's got a really good interview with the guy who plays Bob, the little kid in this movie, Giovanni Freza. And that was really interesting to like see kind of his recollection of the film, and he actually grew up to be like a sort of decent looking guy. You wouldn't have thought that with like how kind of fugly of a little kid he was. But stay tuned, because my next podcast, my next Attack of the 70-Foot podcast is entitled Movies That Bob Ruined, and it's 3 Italian genre films that Giovanni Freza was in. So definitely check that out. I'm sure most people, if you like Fulci, you probably already have this Blu-ray, and you're probably pretty shocked that I was rocking the Anchor Bay DVD release of The House by the Cemetery. So it's nice to upgrade. Always welcomed. This next one here is not one that was really like on my list. My little cousin just knows me super, super well, and he got me the Criterion release of Night of the Living Dead, my favorite film of all time, my favorite horror film of all time, the most important horror film ever made. And yes, I will die on that hill. Night of the Living Dead is the most important horror film ever made. I'm not going to get too much into Night of the Living Dead. This is a really good transfer, obviously. It's Criterion. I saw this transfer at the Hollywood Theater here in Portland, Oregon last October, and it obviously looked fantastic. For the longest time, I was rocking the Mill Creek Blu-ray release of this, and also I'm still gonna keep around my Dimension Extreme DVD release because it's got some really good special features on it. You know, I have enough releases of Night of the Living Dead that I wasn't like dying to get this immediately, but it's like my favorite movie ever made, so of course it's like a welcomed addition. My cousin knows me super well, so thank you so much for this one. It's awesome. It looks beautiful. All right, this was definitely the show stealer of my Christmas Blu-rays, and it's from Severin Releasing, and it's Killer Crocodile and Killer Crocodile Part 2. At least the second one is directed by Ginetto De Rossi, who's the special effects artist who worked on a bunch of Fulci films. He also worked with David Lynch on Dune. I was watching this movie and was just like, I was at a loss for words like I am right now. I just immediately thought, where has this movie been all my life? I had no idea that it was going to be this good, this entertaining. The crocodile animatronic looks great. I can't believe I'd never even heard of this movie before until Severin released it. So thank you so much, Severin. This movie is just so fun. It's just so deliciously like good and bad at the exact same time. And it's just so much fun to watch. This is one that I like called up some of my friends who like to watch bad horror movies with me, and I was like, you guys gotta come watch Killer Crocodile. This one like takes the cake. It's amazing, entertaining, gory, good effects, hilarious dialogue. This was the show stealer by far. Get yourself this. It's super worth it for 1 and 2. It's super worth it. All right, now this I'm very glad that this one was the one that got right on my list. I did get the 3-disc limited edition Blu-ray Blue Underground release of the New York Ripper, which is like my favorite Fulci giallo film. It's so dark and mean-spirited. The transfer on this looks gorgeous. All the special features, the commentary is really good and informative. This is just beautiful. It goes really well with my Fulci Zombie 3-disc set. And now I just need my House by the Cemetery release. I'm a little bummed that I didn't get that, but like I said, it'll do. And if I was going to only get one, I'm glad that it was the New York Ripper. I love this lenticular cover because it's not one that changes. It's just, it like has a lot of depth to it. Like the knife and everything pops really well. And then of course, when you remove the slip sleeve, I always change the reversible cover to have the original artwork for the Blu-ray underneath. This is beautiful. It also comes with like the soundtrack, a CD. Just a wonderful, wonderful release. I'm so glad that Blue Underground is doing this with all their Fulci movies. They did Zombie, now New York Ripper, and House by the Cemetery. These are just so good. Pick yourself up a copy if you get the chance to get this. It's really wonderful. And then the last one here is not a Blu-ray, it's just a DVD. It's one that I had actually never seen until today, actually, after I got off set. I finally popped it in and watched it. I quite rather like this one. It's one that I avoided, and then it seems to be kind of hard to get now, or at least sort of expensive. So I thought that I would just throw it on my list. Maybe someone would order me the DVD off of Amazon. And that's Dario Argento's The Phantom of the Opera. Excuse me. His version of The Phantom of the Opera. And I rather like this movie, actually. I think that Asia Argento is really good in it. She's really beautiful in it. It's a little bonkers and off the wall. I like the whole, like, rats aspect that's been added into this. I've never read the novel, but I think that that Argento just kind of added in this whole aspect with like the rats raising the Phantom and stuff like that, is it's interesting. It's an interesting take on it. It's really sort of dark and gruesome and maybe a little more like, I guess I wouldn't say realistic, but it's just not as polished as a lot of other versions of the Phantom of the Opera, which is kind of nice because when the movie is set, like that's, you know, you see a lot of period pieces that are so like slick and beautiful, and everybody looks so great, and that's not really like the time at all. Like, it was kind of an ugly, nasty time, especially compared to today. Like, people didn't bathe and shit. So it was kind of nice to see kind of like a more grotesque version of the Phantom of the Opera. And the Phantom of the Opera is not really a like a horror movie that I really love. There's not a version that I'm nuts about. Like, even the Lon Chaney version, I'm just kind of meh. Not nuts about it. This might be my favorite version of Phantom of the Opera. Honestly, like, if I was gonna like pop one in, this is probably the one I'd watch. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's what I got for Christmas. Those are the DVDs and Blu-rays that I got for Christmas. I would like to remind you guys that if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I'm so close to getting 1,000 subscribers, and it's like street cred, man. I just want some street cred. I just want to like say, yeah, I got 1,000 subscribers. I do have a new Reference This Film coming out soon. Of course, I took like the holidays off, and I've been working on a new film. So I haven't had a new Reference This Film, but there is one coming. I am writing it right now. Also, keep an eye out for my top 10 favorite horror films of this decade video, which should be dropping here pretty soon. I mean, it should be dropping soon. I would be the one to know. Definitely keep your eye out for that. Also, my last horror film, my last feature horror film, Jesus, I Was Evil, is going to be released by Wild Eye this February. I'm gonna make a ton of videos mentioning it, but once again, if you want to like support this channel or support 7th Street Productions or just like me, please buy my movie, or at least rent it or something. Yeah, that'll be coming out soon. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, shoot me a message, let me know what you guys think. What Blu-rays and DVDs did you guys get for Christmas? You know, I like having conversations with you guys. So until next time.